This just in. Apparently, I am black again. I just found out. I was checking Port City's page, his community area, and apparently I am black again. When we last left off with Pastor Port, he was picking at me being mixed in a song and shaming me for having any genetics that are Caucasian like, and saying like it's bad to be white, basically, and calling me a total white person, disregarding any of my blackness because it was convenient, for his diss song. However, we have an update. We have a Port City update, right? Now it's convenient because this joint is about me. I mean, he didn't mention me specifically, but, of course, I'm not an idiot. Damn shame these house niggas are running around protecting their massa. That's one. And then he has another one over here. It's 2022 and we still have house niggas taking up for their plantation massa /white daddy. See, now it's convenient for me to be black, surely because I'm defending my very good friend Necro from Port City, who's making a call of action to, as the bitches like to say, cancel Necro, stop his fucking money and stuff like that. Why is he doing that? And also slandering him, calling him a huge racist, right? Now, this all is based on, well, it's me that he's going at Necro just because of me. Had it not been my little conflict with him and them other niggas, he wouldn't even probably know who Necro is. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, Necro has a huge fan base and all that, but underground hip hop, real nigga shit. Port City on the hip hop thing, little North Carolina ass. I don't think he's in the club of like real hip hop purists as much as he tries to be on some like, he loves the 90s. He loves it. He loves New York hip hop. But I'm gonna get into that in the, the correlation of how he's really sweating niggas like Necro, right? But so that's why I feel it's my duty. Necro's my homeboy, so I'm going to hold him down. But basically, long story short, he's put together a collaboration. He's painstakingly taken hours upon hours, putting together a bunch of clips from Necro in which Necro used the N-word. Nigga. Not nigger, but nigga. Talking to his audience, just using the term nigga casually, just as any black person would when they're talking to their people or they're just referring to people like, yo, this nigga over here was doing this. Oh, what nigga you talking that? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's part of Necro's lexicon. He grew up in a black hood from, 70s, late 70s onward, grew up fucking hip hop. It is what it is. Now, I would like to say this, because first, let me give my point of view, a reminder for those that may not know. I don't give a fuck who says nigga, nigger. I don't give a fuck who says any racial type of term and really throws it around. Oh, white people shouldn't say nigga. I don't give a fuck. To me, that shit is, that shit is not something that people should give a fuck about. A phonetic utterance. You know what I mean? You got Christians who take God's name in vain. That's one that I have an issue with or whatever. Devout Christians will take God's name in vain, but have a problem with white people saying nigga. You feel me? Granted, I'm talking about when they mean it in a regular context. I'm not talking about the white people that talk about hanging niggers from a tree and like throwing watermelon seeds at them. I don't know if that one even made sense, but you know what I mean. I'm talking about white people that just casually use it in their lexicon just as much as a black person would, that have ties to the urban community. You know what I'm saying? Or that are brought up in this culture, comparably like China Mac and comparably like Necro. I could say Necro for a fact because I know him well. China Mac, just from what I see from the outside, yeah, he did his time in the Bing, and no doing time in the Bing doesn't associate him automatically with black folk, but it just so happens he was amongst the black folks and he was in hip hop. It is what it is, right? So I don't give a fuck, right? However, I still respect any black person or any person, even a white person, that does have a problem with white people saying nigga, even on some casual, regular hood greeting or just talking about, synonymous for homie type form of nigga. I respect the people that do have an issue with it. I don't try to impose my mentality of not giving a fuck about an utterance to make it like a big deal and feeding the word all this power. It's such a taboo word. So now when a white person says it, it's going to have a real effect because y'all done turned it into this big thing. Sure, that's my point of view. But I understand. I understand the reason. Yes, it was used as a racial connotation against us back in the day. Shit like that, I totally get it. I have no problem with that. And I've had several conversations with Necro about race things and all that, and he knows exactly where I stand. I don't do the bootlicking, the white, none of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We've had even heated arguments about some shit before, but he knows and understands that as well. He used to say nigga in his music just as any other rapper would. Decade maybe ago or something. He stopped doing it out of respect. Out of respect for the people that do have a problem with it. Now, he still uses nigga in casual conversation because it's that deeply embedded in him. But even then, if like a black person has a problem with him saying nigga, he'll respect and understand it and, tone it down in their presence just on the strength of, them having an issue with it. But it's deeply embedded in his lexicon as it is in a lot of folk, a lot of black folk, right? So there's that, right? So don't get it confused and think I'm just excusing him for saying nigga on some casual shit. However, what we're not gonna do, what we're not gonna do is just stamp racist on him and say he's against black people and he's a white racist and he's a culture vulture just because he happens to say nigga casually and casual conversationally. Nah, I can't allow someone to slander a good friend of mine in that type of way, especially since I know him well, and especially since I know he's not racist. As I said, he has a huge white audience. Most of the time when he's talking that nigga shit, whatever, he's talking to white niggas. Yeah, white niggas. Because, remember, I don't give a fuck about that. A nigga is a nigga. Nigga means man to me, basically. Someone that's of the male gender. You feel me? So he's talking about white. He's usually talking to and about white niggas when he's throwing the nigga word around. You feel me? So, but this nigga, for whatever reason, is coming at my homeboy saying like, yo, call to action, stop his money. Boom. Yeah, let's get him up out of here. You know what I mean? He's a culture vulture. Somebody that was born in mid 70s, hip hop to the core, grew up in the projects. You feel me? Grew up around niggas. I got videos up showing him chilling in Bed-Stuy in the crib, just rapping with niggas, saying nigga in his rhyme, and the niggas had no problem with it because there's a solidarity, there's a comfortability with him among them. He is that. He is hip-hop. You can't mention anyone in underground hip-hop that's not going to know who the fuck Necro is. He's turned himself into a legend. Hip hop is a strong part of him. Nothing culture vulture-y or anything like that. He's turned down the mainstream shit. You feel me? There's another story I could go in about, his early interactions with Eminem and how Eminem was on some I guess you could say black bootlicking shit and trying to essentially play my homie while Necro was just keeping it real, just as, a motherfucker should on some genuine shit. And Eminem tried to turn some shit into another thing. You know what I'm saying? I may tell that story. I may bring Necro on so we could tell that story himself. It's a cool story, right? But yeah, of course, if that's my good friend, of course I'm going to speak against that. Look at this. Now, I want y'all to really take this. All y'all people that are into the Black Power movement and stuff like that, which I am one of as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a sensible version of it. You feel me? Now, psychologically, look at this shit. Damn shame. He meant how? Damn shame how these house niggas are running around protecting their massa. Look how much power he's giving a white man. He's basically, in this situation, he's saying that Necro is massa. Niggas don't even realize what they do psychologically. That's why I don't associate with the terminology of white supremacy. Subconsciously or consciously, I'm not going to acknowledge white people as being supreme. That shit is stupid. But here in this post, he's calling him massa. He's giving him way more credit than he wants. Necro ain't nobody's massa. He's just my friend that you're trying to stop the money of, and I'm defending. There is no color issue to it or anything. It has nothing the fuck to do with that. But as I said, Port City knows this. He's a logical and intelligent individual. But, we got his little page and he got like a bunch of stupid motherfuckers that he got to appease to so he could get his money. But all I'm asking, could you leave my homeboy out of it? There's no reason to even be doing this. We be talking and everything's smoothed out, and then boom, just attacking a good friend of mine. Do you see me trying to stop the gay nigga that you rap with? Do you see me trying to stop his money, telling niggas stop watching him? No. So it's that one and it's this one. It's 2022 and we still have house niggas taking up for their plantation massa, aka white daddy. That shit is gay. White daddy against the field niggas. So he's a field nigga. No, you're a fucking sucker. Respectfully, in this particular example, you're a disingenuous sucker. Appeasing to the Chocradites, or however you pronounce it, the numbskull knuckle dragon community, or the people that feel so alone they have to just attach to something. So they're getting, like I said, this little small tiny black ass box where white is terrible and everyone's against white, but here you have a home in my little small ass black ass box. You could feel, if you feel insecure about whatever's going on, you could feel secure here because we got your back. This shit is stupid. Again, shout out to the real black people that get up off their ass, that get it, that don't cry on some victimhood shit, that of course are still aware of the racism that definitely occurs and is ongoing in our society. I'm not saying turn a blind eye to that, but you don't just affix that on any motherfucker. You don't take a nigga that's been hip hop since he was born, and just because he happens to say nigga, because niggas been calling him a nigga ever since he was 6 years old, you just say, oh, he's against us. He's a culture vulture. No, he the fuck's not. Now, to tell a quick little story, because if the role was reversed and somebody, I don't want to say too much because, whatever, but yeah, my homeboys came to my aid on several examples. Now, check this story out real quick if I can entertain y'all, right? We're in Switzerland. We're on tour, right? At this time, I was working the merchandise table. There was a Switzerland rap group. It's about like 4 niggas. When I say niggas, I mean men, white guys. Everybody, all of Switzerland was white. Let's put it that way, because that's going to be an important detail, right? So, I'm in the back room doing something. There ends up being a scuffle, mosh pit, shit in the crowd. We get a little wild, and there's a little scuffle between this other rap group and Necro. It's Necro, Hyde, and Drew Wayne. Necro and Hyde are white. Drew Wayne is, I think, a quarter black. You feel me? If that accounts or amounts to anything, right? So they get into a little melee, whatever. Shit gets broken up, allegedly pieced out, cool. So then I go back to the merchandise table. Necro's on stage performing, doing his 1-2 thing, right? And then one of the people that was part of the melee, as he's walking by me, he says something. I don't even remember what the fuck he said. He said something. I wasn't paying him any attention. I was like, yeah, whatever, nigga. And then I brushed the shit off. Necro drops the mic, comes charging down the motherfucking area like a bull, and just rushes him just on the strength of what he did, because he was already amped. He's not giving that nigga a chance to try to swing on me or do anything like that. That's the type of nigga he is. He pops off. He'll hold his niggas down. So he pops off on the nigga, right? And then another dude that's down with that group tries to snuff Necro, right? So that's when I get in the mix, start beating the shit out of that other nigga. Hyde is now doing his thing because he's the illest out of everybody. Drew Wayne is in there doing his maniac shit, fucking niggas up. There was about like 4 security. So it's like 4 of them, 3 or 4, I think 4 security guards. So it was like us 4 against them 8. We mopped them up, just to summarize it. We mopped them niggas up, right? So I'm trying to get the fuck up out of there because I don't want cops to be called, whatever. Everyone got their shit in the back room. We got to pack up. So long story short, we go to the back room. We're packing up, trying to get the fuck out of there, telling niggas like, yo, is there a back way we could get out of there? Where's the tour van? Oh, yeah, another little detail. My left hand was fucked up because it got caught in the sliding door. So I'm literally fighting with just one hand. You know what I mean? But so long story short, we don't, the cops get there, right? Someone called the cops. So he goes in the back room. Now, mind you, my black ass or yellow ass or partially black ass, whatever you want to call me, right? Me, Drew Wayne, who, he's a quarter of a cheek black, and is, white ass Necro, white ass Mr. Hyde, right? So they're pointing at people in the room of who could leave the room and who has to stay. Those that have to stay were getting arrested. So the cops is pointing, they talking whatever the cops. Now, remind you, everybody's white practically. Switzerland, the people that call the cops, the other group, all that. The cops themselves, you know what I'm saying? So they're calling niggas that could get out, people that could get out the room and just keep it the fuck pushing, right? They call Necro. He got to stay because he was part of the fight. Mr. Hyde, he got to stay. He was part of the fight. Drew Wayne, he got to stay. He was part of the fight. Me, you could go. The blackest motherfucker in this situation in an all white environment, you know what I'm saying? A speck of pepper in the land of salt. They said, I could go. Now, mind you, I was not expecting that. Switzerland, other places, I'm just thinking like, yeah, they'll probably hang a nigga from a tree. Who knows what type of shit they'll do. But me, they said I could go, right? Long story short, Necro had to spend like 100 hours in a fucked up environment, cell or whatever, hide. They deported niggas back to the U.S. and hide back. Drew Wayne back to Manchester. I didn't even see Necro until later when we got home. They wouldn't even let him. I had to take his luggage, do my best to take his luggage back on the plane. Hyde, they ended up letting go a day or two later. Necro got banned from, I think, the Eastern Europe, I think, for 2.5 years, and he had to pay a ridiculous fine. You feel me? Me, the blackest motherfucker in the situation, I was able to go. So, I did what I did, tried to get the show money, hold everything down, and make calls, get the lawyer so the lawyer could pay whatever bail or whatever they had to pay for to allow Necro out the thing, whatever, right? So that's an actual real world experience. Now, I'm not saying it's always like that. Sure, racism and shit like that does happen. Absolutely. But here I am. The white motherfuckers in this case got locked up. The black motherfucker was free to go. And, the little footage that came out of the fight, I'm the most active that you see in that footage. Even though at the time of them locking niggas up, that footage wasn't up. Some nigga uploaded it on Instagram or YouTube after the fact. And now they were trying to find me. They was like, who this nigga right there that's doing all this yada, yada, yada. But they had already let me go. I'm making sure that in the hotel, my name isn't on anything so they don't come looking for me. And, it was some wild shit. But that's what happened. So what does that tell you? That tells you one or two things. A, that's a real homie that'll fight side by side, like even at the slightest thing. Now, personally, I think if Necro wouldn't have done that, probably nothing would have popped off because I wasn't sweating what homie was saying, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, his heart was that of a true friend, and that's not the only situation. You know what I'm saying? This nigga will put guns in a nigga hand if he needs that, whatever, and when a gun is in his hand, his shit will go. You know what I mean? We're going to leave all that alone. But he showed on numerous occasions that, he's a genuine friend that got a dude's back. You feel me? So, of course, if some motherfucker is just gonna be coming at the homie, of course I'm a defender. Man, ain't got nothing to do with Master, White Boy, or all this other shit. No, I don't see Necro as Massa. Why the fuck do you see him as Massa? Look at all this credit you giving him. And you supposed to be of some type of black empowerment? Yet you look at a situation, you already give this nigga all the credit in the world. He's fucking Massa. To me, that's just my friend. That's just my homeboy. So, and another thing that tells you is I'm out here in real life situations. That was a real life situation. A little different than the blacktivists that's sitting on their ass just saying, woe is me, the whole world is against me, white people this, all white people are evil, and if you got that little bit of white in you and you got the 6 ether hair, then you're all about the evil. I've heard and been through it all. There's none of that shit that you could tell me that I'm not aware of, that I haven't studied from a scientific point, from a philosophical point, from a socio-economical point. I've been through it all, so I'm not just running my mouth. But I'm out here actually in the street living, actually experiencing, going through experiences like this, real world experiences. Now, of course, I could also talk about being in New York and getting frisked by cops or in DC, where it's a whole bunch of us and we have one white homeboy with us, and they frisk and search all of us, yet the cop pulls my white homeboy to the side and asks him, he's like, yo, why are you hanging with these guys? Meaning, why are you as a white man hanging with these niggas? And then him, cursing him out, actually. He held it down. The homeboy that's white that they said that to or whatever. But the point is, this is real experience. Get off your ass. Actually live a little. You know what I'm saying? Back to that culture vulture shit. Oh, he's a culture vulture. He's a culture vulture. Port City. Come on, B. You do not sound, you're from North Carolina. How come you don't sound like P.D. Pablo? Who do you be trying to sound like? A 90s New Yorker. And your music isn't bad. It's good. You do a good job of what you do musically, lyrically. Absolutely. I salute that. But what built it up? What are you a construction of? You are a construction of New York hip hop. And this alleged culture vulture you're talking about is as deep and ingrained as you can get as being part of New York hip hop. Where's your album with Cool G Rap? Huh? So, and then to say the similar thing to me, I think in your song you also try to say I'm a culture vulture. I mean, that's just as ridiculous. I mean, Necro is more seasoned, he has more accolades, but I'm just as much hip hop born, bred, raised, and embedded in me as well. So it's like, yeah, how come you don't sound like Petey Pablo? So when you want to say, oh, these New York niggers are weird, you get your whole everything from New York niggers. If I didn't know better, I would think you are probably a New York nigga. So I just wanted to say that, man. This shit is bogus. But let me see what y'all saying in these comments. Remember what Malcolm X said about the house nigga? Look, Lil Wayne and Donald Trump, that's disturbing. Let me see what the other one got. The other one got any comments? 8 comments. What are these niggas talking about? Shit is ridiculous, B. Let me not make this shit too long. I said what I had to say. Peace. Peace out. Shout out to the real when I'm black again. Thanks for making me black again. I might be white tomorrow. So tune in to Reverend Port or Pastor Port to you know what I'm saying? Get your latest update on Tone Space's race, if I'm black or white. Cool.